Hello and welcome to Crystal Heart Psychics. I'm Caroline, founder of Crystal Heart Psychics, and I just explain a little bit about myself. So, I'm a psychic medium. I work with my guides. I'm also clairvoyant, which means I get pictures in my head in symbolization form. I'm a qualified life coach, qualified CBT therapist, Reiki master, and I did start Crystal Heart Psychics 13 years ago. And as you know, I'm formerly the other half of what was the UK US Psychic Tag Team Connect Across the Pond. So today's show is slightly different in the sense that I will be hosting live callings if anyone does want to ask any questions. However, I do have a little topic to discuss today, which I think, we can talk about. Um, I do want to talk about life changes, and I also want to talk about it's quite a controversial subject, but also over the recent months, years, there's been quite a few what I would classify as conspiracy theories across the world. And I just think that sometimes that can distract us from what we're meant to be doing. For me, the guidance I provide, and I am a firm believer, is we are a human having a spiritual experience, and it is really up to us how we conduct ourselves. But I also think, the advice that I'm here to give is to talk about relationships, your career, any other issues that you have right now going forward, and to offer assistance and guidance where I can. That's what I do. I've been doing this now 20 years. I've also been doing it over the phone for 20 years. So I'm quite happy to answer those questions where necessary. But like I said, I just want to discuss the energy coming through. So obviously, we've got a little bit of a chaos energy right at the moment, which is everything that you're seeing going in the news. But also remember, we do have the spring equinox coming. And with that brings new hope. It also brings, you know, refreshment. And that's really where we're looking at now is that when we go into winter, it's almost like we go into that hibernation. And this is the time of self reflection, wondering, who we are. And when we come into the months of February, March, we actually are, in the spring months. And therefore, it's time for refresh and renew. I look forward to new things coming in. I notice, hi, Betty, how are you? Sorry, I'm just going to invite you in if that's okay. Hi, Lily, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. It's lovely to talk to you. And lovely that you found me as Crystal Heart Psychics radio show now. So I'll talk about how we came up to that, but as you know, so how can I help you today?
Okay, so I did promote your show to
Thank you. I appreciated that. Yes, I saw.
okay. I'm glad that you're here. Okay, I'm like traumatized. I'm not really okay, but I'm just gonna tell you my current forecast. So yesterday I moved to the new place
Right.
and I've been cleaning because I like everything super clean. I just have this thing where I clean a lot.
To be honest, I don't know what you think about cleaning, but I find cleaning as cleansing. So, like, sometimes, when you clear out your clutter or clean your house or whatever, you're actually helping your energy. So that cleaning is you starting it fresh. So don't criticize yourself for that. So how is the new place is what I want to know.
Well, I could have got myself into a lot of trouble just now because okay, so I started cleaning because my definition of clean and other people's definition of clean are different, and I didn't do a walkthrough with the owner, so I told them I'm just gonna start documenting stuff just because I don't want to get in trouble for anything. I mean, it's beautiful. I think I've chosen right, but I could have got myself into trouble because I opened up one of the kitchen cabinets and it looked like mold. And so I was like,
Yeah.
I asked ChatGPT, what is this? And they're like, oh, it's mold. And so then I was like, oh, I can't clean this. And so basically it wasn't mold. It was stained from from something
Previously, yeah.
else. But I could have gotten myself into a lot of trouble because I freaked out like that. I have to,
Yeah, but you would because yeah, you've got to remember where you were before and you had that situation. You know, you're going to be a little bit traumatized from that. So you see something that looks similar and goes into complete blind panic and goes, and it's probably a stage. But you know what? I'm glad you've managed to self-regulate, if that makes sense.
and I did apologize and I let him know that it was ChatGPT that sent me in the wrong direction and that, I I believe I was just traumatized and overtired too because it was a lot to
Yeah,
it's a lot to move and to
it is.
transfer stuff and your car insurance and you know what I mean? And so it's just the apartment itself is
Mm,
very beautiful and
good.
I just don't want to self-sabotage or stuff like that. I don't know. I just people are gonna get sick of me and be like, I don't want to deal with your shit. So, oh, sorry. I just need to chill out, I think.
Yeah, we can sort something out. So I can either do some healing for that. I mean, what I will say, I've also got a little meditation channel going on. So the next time I do that, I will focus on relaxation and forgiving the past, if that makes sense. Because a lot of this, remember, you've just got there, it's all new to you. There is going to be fear attached to that move because of what's happened previously. That's just past traumatic experiences from what you've just gone through. And I think at the end of the day, you coming into and I've got to say this because this is an actual channel, is you are coming into a new beginning. And this is kind of what we've been waiting for. And just so you know, and I hope I don't upset you by saying this, I've just got a picture of your little dog in my head saying, I'm so happy, Mum, for you. So I hope I don't make you cry with that one, but it's kind of really lovely. So I just feel really nice energy around the place. And this cleaning is just you getting rid of any negative energy from the previous owners or the previous people that were there. And that's not a problem, you know? So we just need to settle your energy. So I'm going to take my voice down a little bit, if that makes sense to you. And I'm just going to ask you to close your eyes a second. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I'm just going to ask you to just start to relax gently and gently. And just I'm sitting here and then I'm sending white light energy across to you. And I'm going to ask you to imagine it coming from the top of your head and flowing all down your body. And as it does that, it's asking you to relax and breathe, knowing that you're safe, which is a really big thing for you, and comfortable. Just allowing that energy to flow down your neck and into your shoulders, all down your body. And say inside, I forgive myself. You don't have to repeat it, and then I'm going to ask to clear the energy around you, forgiving anything that's gone before you, and releasing all that negative, toxic energy from the past. Just take a deep breath into the nose and just ask to release that right now. Send it to the universe and transmute all of that lovely negative energy. Just imagine that flowing out of you right now. And how does that feel?
Thank you.
You needed that, didn't you? There was a big yawn there. I thought, yeah, good, you're clearing energy, and this is what you need to do. It's just a period of settling. You've got to remember, and I'm going to explain this to you, is that, when you've gone through trauma like this, there's also your nervous system almost gets an overload, and then you end up with all your stress hormones kicking off. So you're probably I'm going to talk past tense now. I'm not going to say you're over it yet because feelings take, but it just will take you about 4 to 6 weeks to settle again, and you'll start to see this is where I'm meant to be. Does that make sense? I think you've already started to feel the difference, haven't you?
Yeah. I think I'm just so used to not belonging somewhere that
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, oh, you know, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, and also it's about grounding yourself because I also think sometimes as well, when we are such heightened in our stress, we're quite spiritual. And I certainly know this has happened to me. And yes, it can be called spiritual bypassing. Sometimes we go into our spiritual selves because we're trying to escape the reality, if that makes any sense. Because it's much nicer to be up there than it is connected and grounded. And I just think for you, like you've just said, you're not used to being settled. You're not used to feeling like you belong. So that grounding, even if it's a daily grounding, like I am here, I belong here, and I'm okay here, and I'm safe here. I think the biggest thing for you is safety more than anything, because obviously you haven't been safe for a while, have you?
Right. That's why, like, you hit the nail on the head. 1,000%.
Mm, yeah. And it will just take a little while, but I think I can kind of see you sort of gradually sort of getting things together, sorting yourself out. You'll feel comfortable very quite quickly. Because, I mean, I'm just going to say this to you. I know you're cleaning and I know you had a bit of a panic attack over the stain in the cupboard, but how do you feel about the apartment? How do you feel about where you are? Have you been
Lucky.
exploring it?
No,
Good.
I walked out today just to see where the garbage is because I live where like the bears are. Like the
Mm,
real bears, not the Chicago bears, like what I'm used to. These
right.
bears, so you have to like be careful with your garbage, take it far away from where you live. So I did a little bit go out exploring, but I just feel like I've been under a lot of stress and I'm
Yeah.
just used to things not working out that like I need to watch that. And it's quiet here like I was like, I'm finally moving on here and one of the
Yeah.
things that I promised myself is no more issues with the landlords.
Mm.
I could have gotten myself into trouble.
But the thing is, though, we all do it. I mean, I can sit here and say to you, and okay, yes, as a psychic, I'm not doing to talk about myself, but I went through this like I have a horse and I went through this with livery yards. In fact, I had to sue one at one point. So, you know, how do I put it? And you just, when you're on that never ending cycle of move, 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 you're like, am I ever going to settle? So when it happens, you can't quite believe it and it just takes a while, and it's just because you're on high alert and you're not used to it. That's all it is right now. And yeah, I think sometimes when you've gone to a place and something's not right, and then you complained, and then you made to feel guilty to complain, then you're thinking, oh my God, am I constantly complaining? And I think sometimes, no, you complain for a reason, you know? And I think what you need to do is change your mindset now because you've already said to me you feel lucky, you appreciate where it is, it's a beautiful place. And like you said, there's parts of you that's like, but what if there's something wrong? Is this too good to be true? And I think when we've gone through not a great time, we can actually sit there and say, is this too good to be true then? So that's where you get into the whole self-sabotage thing. And be mindful of ChatGPT because it isn't 100% right.
Right.
So it's good, don't get me wrong, but I'll be honest with you, I've just had an online argument with someone on Facebook over their ChatGPT advice. So it's not always 100% accurate. I think they say it's 80% accurate. It's not fully there yet. So it can send you into a bit of a tiz. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but also be mindful and use your own mind. But I think so when you thought it was mold and then you looked at it later, what did you then think it was? Did you realize it might have been a stain from a leak under a sink or something?
That's what the lady said. She's like, it's not mold. We would never subject you to that. And it's like, but I mean, it's been a long journey. Like I rented an apartment in Florida. I don't even think the person owned it. And like I don't it's just I it's the
Yeah.
self-sabotaging thing.
You're not used to good. That's all it is. You're not used to good. And it's really hard when you've been through some pretty traumatic experience, especially with places you've lived. You finally get to a place that's nice and you go, right, what's wrong? What's wrong with this? And you're looking for issues. Not on purpose, it's just you're so heightened, you're most expecting it. So I'm here to say, I feel this is lovely. I'm seeing a lovely energy around it. I am going to smile at this because my guides have said this. You might find it a little bit too quiet. Like, so you're going to have to find things to, shall we say, keep you occupied. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm sitting on the couch while you're saying that. But no, I agree. Like I already plan on going to like the YMCA to go swimming and then this other gym not too far from here to start like exercising over there and also using like their equipment just to get out because it is very quiet here. But yes, I will have this is something I'm going to have to make
Mm.
effort to get out.
Yeah, you will get there. I have every confidence, and I've got to be honest, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a very long journey for you, but it just feels really lovely. I think, like I say, you might find it tricky because you might find it too quiet because you're almost expecting like someone's going to smash up your car or someone's going to do this. And I just get a feeling, the lady who answered you about the cupboard, is she really lovely? Because
Yes.
I just feel she's like, oh no, don't worry about it. And she's really soothing as well, which is kind of what you need.
Right.
Does that make sense? Because I know sort of like, and I can only equate it to like me moving yards 50 million times. Last year, I finally settled on the right yard with my horse. And I went through about 6 to 12 weeks of, and, and what about this? And, just because I had the right person saying, oh, don't worry about it, it's fine. Or I felt it instantly was soothing and calming, and you're like, okay, it's fine. Someone's just told me it's fine. I don't need to panic. But yeah,
Okay.
be careful with ChatGPT. Like I said, I think it's brilliant on so many levels, but it isn't 100% accurate. Unfortunately, the lady that decided to post some online abuse about my little kitten found that out yesterday. So yeah, so there you go. But that's just a different experience for me to talk about. But yeah, just make sure it's a tool at the end of the day. It's a bit like searching through things for Google. You used to ask Google, didn't you? And obviously we're all now using either Copilot or ChatGPT or whichever one we want to use. And it's really helpful, but it's not 100% verbatim advice. So, it's about 80% accurate, they reckon. I read the stats on it the other day. So just be mindful of that when you look it up again. All right.
I will. Thank you so much. So glad that you're still doing your show and I'm so glad I was able to connect with you today. Thank you so much for the healing. I really appreciate it.
No, that's fine, Neely, because what I will do is I might message you privately just to kind of let you know what happened in the sense of myself. I'm carrying on my own now. Obviously, Joni's decided not to do the show anymore. Yes. So there you
Well,
are.
yeah, she started working at a place in well, I don't want to say because I know that she's very private, but I was on the email list or whatever and she started working in an office doing the readings.
Yeah.
So she partnered with someone else. So I understand that. Like I think that, that's really neat. So that's cool. I'm glad that you're still here and that I still get to talk to you and hopefully she'll have a good run with that.
Yeah, well, as I say, we'll see. But yeah, it's yeah, there was some things, and it was we'd done the show for 10 years. I think we both had, shall we say, started to have different beliefs of what the show should look like. We both decided that it was time. It was natural. It's just natural progression, is what I can say. So I thank her for the 10 years. We've had a great time, but yeah, I just think it's not something she wanted to do anymore. So.
And I wanted to give you one confirmation. You said the place, you said literally, I was gonna walk. You said when I go there, you're gonna say, can you replace that fixture? That one looks like it's on the fritz. And when I was here doing my walkthrough, the man was replacing the light fixture.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's lovely to hear.
So I don't know how you knew that, but you did. So thank
Well,
you
it's
for
all
that.
no, that's no problem, Lily. Right, well, I shall bring the Deep. I'll bring him on so you can say hi to Deep as well.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, where are you, Deep? There you go. Hi, Deep. How are you? I just thought I'd bring you in so with Lily on as well, so you can say hi.
Yeah, hi Caroline. Hi Lily.
Hi, how are
Okay.
you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. How are you guys doing?
We're fine, thank you very much. As you say, as I've explained, sort of myself and Joni, and are no longer doing a show together anymore, so I've chosen to carry on as myself.
Just
How can I? Yeah,
thanks so
so
much for carrying on with the show, Caroline.
no, that's no problem. I mean, I've been doing it a long time, and it just seemed very sad for it to end all of a sudden. And for me, in some respects, I think myself and Joni, we were in that lateral progression. We wanted different things, and that's
Mm-hmm.
really all I can say. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a mutual decision. So, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Right. So, how can I help with yourself, Dee?
I don't have anything in mind specifically, Caroline. Lots going on at work and personal
Yeah.
life and with everything that's going on in the world with war and so on.
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to talk about that tonight if I didn't actually have any callers because I think it's really unsettling when you see all what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say that it, I think the problem is that we have with the media today is everything's massively over dramatized, isn't it? It's sort of very, oh, I mean, I've seen things come up on, we're going to announce World War III. We're not in it yet. Let's hope it doesn't get there. But I think the problem is with the media nowadays, it's very dramatized, isn't it? And I think, myself and Jonah, before we decided to end UK US Psychic Tag Team, actually did have a show about this, about, you know, if you find the news upsetting, limit yourself. Because I think sometimes, and I've seen this with online as well, in the sense now some people don't call them conspiracy theories. I do. There's an awful lot going on about the Epstein files and who did what and this, that, and the other. There's a lot of other things going on. And I think at the end of the day, for me personally, I find it quite upsetting to read. So, and I think whilst it's good to have knowledge of what's happening, we have to still go to work, do our jobs, focus on what we need to focus on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's that being grounded, isn't it? It's that making sure that yes, you go, yeah, thanks very much. At least I know what's going on in the world, but actually I still have a job. I've still got to pay the bills and I've still got to buy food and I've still got to pay my rent or my mortgage. So you do have to focus on what's right for you as well, you know? So,
That's right.
it is worrying. I'm not saying that it isn't. The problem I've got, and I do have a belief of, I've seen two recessions, and sometimes I feel the media creates it a little bit because, as soon as they start saying, oh, we're in a recession, then everyone starts not spending money. And then we go into a recession. I'm not sitting here saying, I mean, to be honest, I personally myself don't understand why this has happened, but then all I can do is pray and send love and healing to those poor innocent souls that are involved in all of this. because it's not about the people that are the issue. It's about the innocent people that get injured and hurt. That's the
True.
sad part about it. And we can just send our love and hope that they stay safe in these tricky times. However, I am worried about petrol prices at the moment. So I'm sure you might be too. Depends whether you've got an
Yes.
electric car or
Yes.
not, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how's it for you in the States with petrol and diesel, Lily? Or are you not finding it an issue for you?
I think petrol and diesel prices will affect shipping prices, and then
Yeah,
the price of everything that
yeah,
needs transportation goes up, and then that brings up the
yeah,
inflation, and then interest rates that was meant to go down will be paused.
yeah. No,
So
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm due to renew my mortgage in August, I think July, August. So I was
yeah,
expecting to go down, whereas it'll go up. So
yeah. It's difficult, isn't it? Because I think we can only do our best. We can only stay focused on what we need to do. I will be honest with you, Dee, what I do get with you is your career, and it's all about your career right now. From the simple facts, I just feel you're really busy. Is that right? Are you quite, I wouldn't like to say stressed, but what do you do as a job? Because are you like an accountant or something? Because I'm kind of feeling you're that way inclined.
yeah, yeah, similar to one. Yes,
Yes, I
I'm in
thought so.
IT, so yeah, I do with numbers
Yeah,
and
but
IT project.
there's a lot of pressure off it. I just feel at the moment there's a lot of pressure at work to get things
There
done.
is, there is, and it doesn't leave enough time to find a
Do what
better
you
paying
want.
job.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
salaries
think
have gone down like 40%. Mm.
I am being told to say, as it stands right now, and this is how I feel. If you were to look, I do feel something may come up in June, July. But I also feel that's if you were to look, because I don't feel like you're ready to look at the moment, if that makes any sense. You're not that fed up, yes?
I am fed up. I am looking, but
Yeah.
things need to materialize, and
Mm.
there aren't enough roles coming up at the right salary. Yeah, that
It's
needs
all
to be
about
the right salary.
timing. It's all about timings. And I think, you know, I do feel like how do I put it? I do get June as a month that's quite important and significant for a career change.
Hmm.
But this is the weird part. I'm not 100% convinced you may leave the company you're with because can I ask, is it as, how do I put it? Like when you're fed up, but you're not in that, you're looking, but you're not in that place where you like, I just want to get out of here now. Does
No,
that make
that's right.
sense?
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
So you kind of like, it's okay. I'll put up with it. I'll keep
until I.
looking
Hmm.
gently. That's how I
Absolutely.
feel where you're at the moment. But I'll be honest with you, I think if they offered you like a promotion or a sideways move, I keep getting this sideways move coming in, you would probably look at that.
Yeah, but this place they won't. My friends and colleagues have worked here for 10 years, and
Mm,
more or less, mostly because I'm a contractor.
mm,
So they won't look at the rates, and the agency charge a lot on top.
yeah,
So
mm,
a lot of it goes in the agency fees and taxes.
yeah, yeah. I know. I contracted for 4 years to be honest, and I as an accountant, and I just took a
Hmm.
permanent role because
Yeah.
I think I was in a place of I've done 4 years of it. I want to settle down again now. If that makes any sense, but
Hmm.
I see where you're coming from. 'Cause the problem is when you do contracts, especially with day rates. I don't know whether you are on a day rate or a fixed
I
term
am.
contract,
Yeah.
but the problem is like you can be on the same day rate for 4 years, so
Mm.
you don't actually get a pay rise. And I think, I do feel stick it out for now. That's what I'm getting. And I think the reason for that is maybe because of all this uncertainty that's around us in the world. You're quite okay there for now. But I am being told June, July. Okay.
Right. Right.
So that's where significant changes. Because I think for you, there's several things going on. One, it's about pay. two, it's about time because there is a lot of pressure on you to
Mm-hmm.
get things done, and you are pushing more hours in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes when you're like, okay, I also want to be sociable, go out and see if I can meet someone,
True.
and you have to put that to one side, you get a little bit resentful. Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely.
Yeah. They are showing me a picture of a treadmill at the moment, saying you're on a little bit of a treadmill, but it will get better soon. Okay. So
Yeah.
not to worry about too much. It will soon settle down. But I also feel like, because as I say, what is going on at work at the moment? Is there like a merger or something? Because it just feels there's so much like overload of information that's necessary or wanted.
Yeah. So I manage IT projects, and then they
Yeah.
go through different phases. Like the design
Yeah.
needs to complete by so and so date, and then we start the build, then we
Mm.
start testing, and so on. So when we get closer to a milestone, then
Yeah.
we need to get
Yeah.
the team to work harder, and then everything
Yeah.
has to come together. Like,
Having been on implementation teams for certain accounting systems, which
yeah,
were really quite big, I know exactly how that feels. So
similar.
you're in that place of sort of go, no go at the moment, I
Yeah,
take it.
yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, yeah, but there's always pressure for things like that. And, on those kind of projects, there is a lot of pressure. So, yeah.
Mm,
So, yes, but it will settle. But as I say, at the moment, I'm not seeing you leaving there for now.
mm-hmm,
I don't know whether it's just because of the timings, but like I said, I'm due feel June, July.
mm-hmm. Okay,
And, you meeting a partner will happen, by the way. Do not lose
right,
hope.
right.
So, because they've just told me that winked and they showed me a picture of the potential partner that will come into your life. And I'm like, okay, that will happen then. Because you're like, don't forget about me. So, yeah, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, thank you, Carla.
So I hope that helps.
It does, thank you.
No, it's been lovely to talk. And as I say, I'm going to try and do this show live once a month or once every couple of weeks. And then obviously, but I always put it on the Facebook page. And as you know, I'm doing the Crystal Heart Psychics meditations. I must admit, I did post the last one, and for some reason it stripped out my voice, which is really annoying. So I'm going to carry on with that soon. But yeah, it's been lovely to talk to you guys.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Caroline.
Okay, no worries. You take care now.
Thank you, and you.
Right, so that is today's show. As I say, I think, there is, as what I was saying to Deepan, both Lily, is that we are in uncertain times right now, and you can find it worrying, but all we can do is send our love and pray for any innocent lives to be saved. I think it's, again, I do have a belief that the news do try to not over dramatize, but, sort of the news is the news and creates drama. And whilst it's good to be informed, as we all know that the news is not necessarily 100% the truth as it stands, it is very unsettling because I think everyone's on the edge of the seats wondering what's going to happen next. And also rising costs in fuel, as myself and Deep have discussed. But in all of this, we still have to stay grounded. We still have to stay grounded to be able to go to work, to do our job, to pay our bills, to make sure we've got food on our own table. And I think that's really, really important that we do that. I do think that if we lose sight of that, then we can become quite ungrounded. And that's not where we need to be. I've always had the guidance from my guides, and I remember asking this question many years ago. Stay grounded in your earthly duties and do what you need to do to live your life. And I think that's really, really solid words of advice. And that was a channel from my guides to me, because at the time I was going through a huge transition. I was going from as I say, up until 20 years ago, I didn't even know that I was psychic. I went through a life-changing event and was getting all sorts of sensations and feelings, and my hands would get hot. And obviously, I went through a 2-year transition where I was fast-tracked, where I realized that I could do healing and I was a psychic medium and I could connect with my guides. And during that time, it was a huge learning experience, absolutely huge. So I think for myself, I asked that question to my guides, and that's what was given to me. And I always remember as well, at the beginning of COVID, as I said, there was a lot of stuff online about lots of conspiracy theories. You could call it a conspiracy theory or you could call it the truth. It depends on which side of the fence you are sitting on. I have no judgment of either. However, I think sometimes we can get distracted by these things, and I think it can overtake us. And also, for me personally, I do feel if you're reading things that you find upsetting, it is actually and can lower your vibration. So I always say, make sure that you have the knowledge, but you say, yeah, thanks very much, I know, and I'm just going to carry on as I am. And obviously work on yourself, work on your own inner life and your own healing. And that is the most important thing that we should be doing. But I will be back in a couple of weeks' time. I will announce on the Facebook page, which is now called Crystal Heart Psychics Radio. I have got another channel called Crystal Heart Psychics Meditations, if you wish to listen to that. And I will be here in 2 weeks' time to take your calls. That is the end of today's show. It's been wonderful talking to you both, Deep and Lily, and I shall speak to you soon, no doubt. All right, everyone, take care.